Well, back to work. Yeah, my first batch of time off is over, so back to the grind today. It's not too bad. I think it's just more the feeling of not being able to get out and just potter about and read my comics and do my own thing. I think when I've been working on something so important, with my Dystonia project and focusing on something like that, and then you sort of compare it to work, real life problems and all that. So during the time off, it was my birthday, which was it was lovely. It was a nice chilled day. Lots of time with my girls. Went for a nice walk. We watched Emperor's New Groove. Actually, no, we did that on the next day. I suppose that's the only thing with not working and being at home all the time. Things are all blending. So what did we watch? Oh, we watched some random Disney film about a little boy spy. Anyway, it was really good fun. We had like a imaginary friend, which was a polar bear. It was nice fun. It was good. And then we got a takeaway from the chip shop. So I was in bed by 8 o'clock. So rock and roll. But we went for a nice walk around Antrim Castle Gardens, which was lovely. We've never been there before. Really, really pretty. Got lots of photos, so I'll share them at some point. And it was also the closing date for submitting of stories. And there's been a few people that have been in touch saying, they missed the date and it's a shame and things like that. But what I want to say is that it's not the end of the project, and it's not the end of the opportunity to share story and content for the project. So once I've got more time, I'm going to be working on the website, which I need to completely rebuild, because everything was based on the premise of this one aspect of the project. I didn't know where things were going to go. So I always imagined this project being, put the book together, share that, and that would be the end of the project. But, for the amount of people that have been in contact and the amount of people that have been involved and the amount of people that I've spoken to, that would be, it just wouldn't be right to just finish like that. So there will be other opportunities, whether it's through the podcast or whether it's sharing the story for the website and things like that, to be part of this project. Currently going through a shitty sleep thing again. Really tired. Went to bed at 8 o'clock yesterday. Sort of stayed awake until about 9:30 and couldn't really get to sleep. And I think I just woke up intermittently every hour, and then had a bloody nightmare about the toilet overflowing. I think it was because I was watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and so that went into my dream. There was a part in it where they were destroying someone's bathroom and they flooded the toilet, and in my dream that happened to us. And as the toilet overflowed, the floor in the bathroom completely collapsed and went down into the living room downstairs. So and about that as well. So when I think I mentioned it, but when we had the leak in the living room or in the dining room coming from the bathroom. I messaged the guy who did our kitchen and asked, is it possible that it was something that he had done? And I think I've already mentioned again as well, that, in hindsight, it didn't look like it was anything to do with pipes or anything, because once the ceiling stopped dripping, we had the water turned off. I mean, water had continued to come through the ceiling, so it would appear that it was more of a gathering of water. So, in other words, if we turned the water off and the leak was still going as it was, then it means that it was coming from elsewhere. Anyway, I had messaged him and sent him a video, and this was literally on the Sunday of the week where they had finished working in the kitchen. They've rebuilt this lovely kitchen. I can't fault it. Absolutely amazing. But can you imagine, as a tradesman person that does these sorts of renovations, getting a message from your customer, not implying that you're the cause of this leak, but asking you whether it's anything, could it be something from you? Can you imagine ignoring the message? Because that's what happened. Didn't get a reply. Now, eventually we will get work done in our bathroom. We think we've determined where the leak was coming from, but if we see or we find that it was something to do with the work that was done with the kitchen, I mean, my review changes. The review that I put for them completely changes. If you'd simply come out and just had a little look and gone, no, it couldn't have been, or if he replied and said, no, we didn't do this or we didn't do that, fantastic. But he didn't. But where things are going to get a little awkward for him is that our kitchen's not actually finished. There's a splashback that needs to be put in behind the hobs on the cooker, and also a tube needs to go from the extractor from above the cooker to go out through the walls, and he himself said that he's going to fit that. So he's not really going to be able to avoid talking about it, because he's going to have to come to our house to do that, and it will absolutely be something that I'll mention at that point. And it's a real shame, because he'd been amazing all the way up to the point of doing the kitchen, and to ignore us. The other thing I'm thinking now is we paid already for the splashback. Now, I know that's got to be built and everything like that, but in hindsight, we shouldn't have given him the money until that was actually done, because now he's pretty much gone. Now, I trusted him all the way up to the moment of ignoring our message. Got to be honest, now I'm like, Learned a lot of lessons from getting work done in this house, to be honest. When we got our loft converted, the guy had said to us that it would all be freshly insulated and all of this crap. And once they had finished doing what they were doing, somewhere along the way, there's a lining that goes underneath your tiles, your roof tiles, which means that when it actually rains, the water will hit that and run down it and into your guttering. What happens. But when they had done work on our attic, when we got our loft converted, that got torn. Now, when they were working and building, working on our loft, they took all of the, the insulation. They took all the insulation out. Left patches of it in, but they didn't put any sort of fresh insulation in. So when we then asked him about this, he turned around and said, "Oh, we don't touch that. We don't touch it." At that point, it's too late. We'd already paid. We got everything done, and then we had to pay for someone to come out then and fix the roof to get the tiles done. Cost us like another £700, £800 because we had to get tiles done, new stuff, put underneath the tiles, and a bit around the side of the house to stop the tiles moving. So, when the kitchen was being done, and we'd asked about the appliances, he said, "Oh yeah, you'll get all hot point. It's not hot point. Now, don't get me wrong. It's working like a dream. I can't remember off the top of my head the appliances what they are, but they're not hot point." And it was only sort of after the fact, after everything was done, where I was like, So I think what I've learned, because we're going to get the bathroom done probably next year, is to get every single detail in writing. I'd like to have talked a little bit more. I'd expected a little bit more advice as well around, finishing the kitchen, because we've got to paint that. And we're going to paint on all over the plaster. Now, it would have been much easier if that had been painted while it was a shell of a kitchen. I'd have completely preferred if we had to wait a couple of extra days for them to do what they needed to do in the kitchen, just so that it could be painted and then all the units put in. Instead, now we've got to go in and paint it all around all the units. Now, at the time, it didn't enter our head. We I don't know, I think we kind of assumed that just came with it. We didn't expect you'd get a lovely fitted kitchen and the walls are just left as bare plaster, So, and I've noticed, in some of the reviews that they talk about they've got to go and get, the people that have had their kitchen done are getting their floors done. Now, I'm thinking, is there certain people where these things are mentioned, certain people are not, so some people are told, oh, we can do the floor and that as well. Others that don't know about it. I mean, some of the kitchens we're seeing are painted and tiled at the end and things, so I don't know. Like I said, I've learned a lot of lessons from these sorts of things, and questions that need to be asked whenever you're getting work done on your house. Ultimately, don't get me wrong, over the moon with the kitchen. Love it. I love it. But yeah, that's a massive digression there from my dream about the leaking toilet. But it's something that stuck with me. We were doing a lot of work on the bathroom yesterday because it is just shit. It is really shit. Our bathroom is a waste of time, and I've always said in hindsight, I wish we got the bathroom done before the kitchen. Kitchen was hideous. However, there was no real need for any of our friends or family to go into the kitchen, if you know what I mean. It's at the back of the house. No one needs to use the kitchen other than me, Shane, and the girls. The toilet, bathroom on the other hand, everyone needs to be able to go there. And it's crap, The sealant around the side of the bath is black. It doesn't work. The sink design is shit, so the water just comes out with a sink. We've got a leak under the sink, so we've got a bowl inside a cupboard under the sink. Next door, I don't know what they do, but they smell like corpses. I think they live on a diet of boiled cabbage and things. And because of the way that the bathroom's been built, just clear breeze blocks on the wall going into next door, the smell just comes through. And I think they smoke in the bathroom and all that. So it just stinks as well. So we've always got the window open to keep it fresh air in there. We've got diffusers in there so that it smells nice. I fucking hate my bathroom. It's funny anyhow about how go back to work just brings out the best in everyone. Oh well. Shouldn't be too busy today. Going to try and get to work on the website over the next few days after work as well. So get these calls set up,